It is game day. It is game night, folks. It might only be preseason, but that doesn't mean you can't get hype. Packers versus Saints for the second week of the NFL preseason. We're going to see some Jordan Love action. We're going to see some exciting rookies. Romeo Dobbs, man, it's going to be great. Big B, how are you on game day?
Feeling a little tired because Maddie
Yep.
dropped, so I was up pretty late last night. But guess what? That does not matter because the Packers are playing football tonight. Let's go!
Cheers of the dark berry Dr. Pepper to that one.
Oh yeah.
Cannot wait. Gonna snack on some pizza, some wings tonight. Enjoy the game. So we're going to be talking about today just some things we're going to be watching in the game, as well as all the stuff that has happened in this week, all the roster cut downs, all the roster moves. There has been some interesting ones there. I was going to start off with the Saints preview and that in general, but let's talk about a few of these roster moves. The first one I wanted to talk about is Travis Fulgham. I don't know if it's Fulgham, doesn't matter. The guy that was with us, then with the Eagles. I think I always went with Fulgham, so I'm going to stick with that.
Travis Fulgham.
Okay, so he, if you're not aware, if you don't remember, he was with the Packers for literally like 2 weeks on their it wasn't even their practice squad. It was like during mini camp.
Yeah,
they had signed him for 2 weeks.
I thought it was like for like 6 days. Like it was not very long.
And they also signed. I don't know why I remember this, but they signed Fulgham and a wide receiver from the Seahawks on the same day. And anyways,
Malik Turner. Was it Malik Turner?
I think that might be it. So they signed both of them. Turner lasted longer than Fulgham, but Fulgham, after being cut by the Packers, signed on to the Eagles squad during training camp, and he just balled out in the preseason, balled out for a few games in the regular season. Let me look up his stats here in the regular season because he just had like quite a few highlight plays in his few games for the Eagles. With the Eagles, let's see here. That was 2021. With the Eagles, he started 8 games, played in a total of 13, 67 targets, 38 receptions. That's concerning. But 4 touchdowns, average of 14.2 yards per reception. So that's pretty impressive. Excited for Travis to get this opportunity. I know you said, Big B, that you think this is just a camp body on your Instagram. And I do kind of agree with you there, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they want him to stick around and if they see something that he can add to this team. I think specifically in the run blocking department, he has that ability to add something because of Romeo Dobbs doesn't provide much there, and maybe that's how they feel about a few other wide receivers. So I definitely think he has the potential to be a run blocker in this offense, and also, hey, just the fact that they released Malik Taylor, and hey, man, maybe they're looking to see, maybe they like what they saw on tape from Fulgham. Maybe you put it together with Philadelphia last year. Any thoughts you want to add on the re-signing of Travis Fulgham, Packers legend?
No, just like you said, I think it's just a camp body. I mean, there's 7 guys pretty much locked in on the roster already, right. 2 going on to the practice squad. Like I just don't see him making even the practice squad. So
I didn't say he was a camp body.
No, I said like you said. I think.
Okay.
A camp body.
Okay, I didn't want you to label that on me.
Yeah,
I feel like this is just like in St. Louis, what we're going through here now with the Cardinals, with Albert Pujols being brought back after like 13 or some years with the Angels, bringing back legends. Packers are doing the same.
Sure.
So there's that. A few other moves, like I mentioned, Malik Taylor was waived. He's dealing with the injury. He's pretty injury prone, man. So he was cleared waivers and reverted back to IR. Same thing happened with Dominique Daphne, which was a surprising release early on in the week. But now knowing that he was dealing with that injury, he's back on the Packers IR as well. So I think he still has a future with the Packers if he can stay healthy. Other than that, they did release the kicker Gabe Ricketts, who had just an tremendously awful kick against the 49ers last week. So they released him and signed instead Where's his name? Ramiz Ahmed, former Nevada kicker. So we'll see how he does.
Yeah.
And then BJ Baylor, running back, was released. I thought he did all right in the preseason game. Sign in tight end Nate Becker as well. And I think that's all the important roster moves we have on here. After this game, Packers will go from 85 to 80 on this Tuesday. So 5 more players going to be getting a call to head into the office and bring their iPad or their Microsoft Surface, whichever floats your boat. Now, to this New Orleans Saints game, which, by the way, this is the Saints game back in 2017, Brett Hundley's first career start. I just got to bring up that me and Big B were at that game, didn't know each other, but we were both at that game and found out afterwards. So, and I missed my opportunity to get a Brett Hundley Lambeau Leap, which was disappointing. But to this game, the preseason game here, it looks like it's going to be an interesting one, judging off of the joint practices that the teams had earlier this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. I love to see them get a little bit feisty, a little bit, little bit tense here. I don't like to see unnecessary punches being thrown or just ravage fights every day. But I like to see a little bit of trash talk and a little bit of physicality, new energy for the Packers. I like to see that. That was definitely going on at practice. I did love Rasul Douglas talking to Jarvis Landry. Think we doing a silent Rasul Douglas. I did see, anyways, that Douglas he reminded Jarvis of his 2 interception game that he had against Cleveland on Christmas Day last year, and he said, "Hey, just because you're in a New Jersey doesn't mean I'm not going to be a dog on you, bro."
Rasul Douglas.
Oh yeah, got to steal that one from Pat McAfee, and yeah. So Douglas, excited to see him this season, and great to see him. He was certainly giving a lot of trash talk over those 2 practices. Won't see him today, most likely. Other things, let's get to the important players that are going to be playing. The big matchup, Jordan Love versus Andy Dalton / Ian Book / Taysom Hill. We'll see who the Saints throw out there. Jameis Winston, they're still kind of slowly easing him off, recovering from that ACL injury. But Big B, who is one guy in this game that you think has the most to prove today?
I'm gonna say Tariq Carpenter. That the safety 3 spot kind of all over the place. Don't know what's happening there, especially now that Donald Levitt is hurt with a shoulder injury. LaFleur said he's going to be out, so this is a chance for Tariq Carpenter to try to make a push for that safety 3 spot. There's Sean Davis, Vernon Scott's been taking most of the reps there, but Tariq Carpenter, I would like to see some more special teams, big wow plays from him, at least one of them in tonight's game. That will help him a lot to stay on the roster.
Yeah, that safety 3 position is one we've been talking about all off season now, and I think they're really just going to see who does what best. And definitely the special teams ability will have to be crucial if Tariq Carpenter does end up making a 53-man roster. My player here that I think has a lot to prove is Tyler Davis. A lot of what added to the shock of Dominique Daphne being released is the fact that Tyler Davis, who pretty much plays the same position as him, just sucked against San Fran. As much as it pains the both of us to admit that he did not look good. The cause of Jordan Love in reception in the red zone. So, hey, Tyler Davis, big chance for him to redeem himself. Packers did sign that tight end, Nate Becker. So we'll have to see if he gets any opportunities tonight. But Tyler Davis, he's certainly fighting for a spot on that 53-man roster. And even at this point, a practice squad spot. We do know that LaFleur, Gutekunst, and even Rodgers think very highly of him. So hopefully we see a different version of Davis out on the field tonight.
Yeah, I didn't think he played that bad last week, but then I went back and watched him. after I think Andy Herman tweeted out that he had a pretty poor game, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, he was bad. Like he was awful. It was not good. Not
Yeah.
good.
Another player, the one that it's preseason, so we have to talk about him, Jordan Love. Um, he looked. We haven't. I think we talked about it a little bit in our post game video for the Niners game, but his performance last week wasn't pitiful. But I think I said something to this effect this past Monday as well, though, that it wasn't the you know star striking. Wow, this guy, you know, is definitely deserved to be a first round draft pick type performance. I'm not saying he sucks, not saying he can't turn into anything great, but it wasn't tremendous, wasn't bad either. Definitely better, definitely an improvement. Tonight, I'm just hoping to see from Jordan a few consistent good drives. And for, the one thing that stuck out to me last week compared to the time we saw him in 2021 was just his patience in the pocket and taking what the defense gave him. So, you know, building off of that, continue to do that, and hopefully put together some good touchdown drives. Hope your tight end doesn't get, the ball doesn't pop off his shoulder in the red zone. Let's get a few good touchdowns on there. Let's have a bomb to Romeo or Samari like we have last week. And I think he has a really good performance, highlight worthy, I'd say. Big B, is there any other aspect of Jordan Love's game that you're going to be looking at tonight?
Not really. I mean, accuracy could be something I will be watching, but I mean, he seemed pretty decent. That was an issue coming out of college, and the checkdowns were not too hot last week. Like to see him improve this week on that aspect, but otherwise, I'm just looking for a decent performance. I mean, hopefully, receivers will actually catch the balls this week and won't taint the stat sheet.
Yeah. Kenny Miller asked the question, will a wide receiver get cut from the Packers? Well, a wide receiver will. I mean, have
Yes.
to. But if you look at, you have outside of the ones that are locked in, you have Danny Davis, Mari Torre,
Ishmael
Hyman.
Yep.
Um,
Travis Fulgham. That's pretty much.
yep. And Winfrey, if I didn't mention him.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those guys are going to have to perform tonight and for this last stretch of training camp to have a shot at the roster. Obviously, they'll fill out some spots on the practice squad. I do think, though, that Juwan Winfrey, I feel like I've talked about him so much in our preseason and training camp videos, but I think Juwan Winfrey has a good chance of making the roster just because they're going to want veterans, at least a few more of them on the roster, and also those that Aaron can trust. He's been with the program for a few years now, so he's definitely a veteran that the Packers would want. And yeah, practice squad, we'll have to see what happens with that. Danny Davis is obviously showing out in a few practices and in last week's preseason game, so we'll see if he stacks on top of that as well.
If he plays, first off.
What is he dealing with? He is dealing with the injury. What is it?
Ankle.
Okay.
I doubt he plays tonight. So.
Okay, that's good to know. One player I wanted to bring up with another position that has been up in the air, kind of like safety 3, is outside linebacker. I wanted to talk about Kobe Jones. He was a guy where he kind of jumped off the tape. I wouldn't say that, but he played well. He
came out of
made
nowhere, pretty much.
What?
Pretty much came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, he was a player that you made you want to look up on your roster. Who is this guy?
Yes.
Who is he? And had decent game on Saturday or on Friday, and looks like he had a few good practices against the Saints as well. So we'll have to see how he does tonight, because I don't think he's going to make the initial 53-man roster, but that's going to be a rotating door all season unless Kingsley Enagbare or Jonathan Garvin is just killing it on the field.
Kingsley, that my man has been making a great push for that outside linebacker 3. I am so excited to see what he does tonight.
Hey, it's
He's
funny.
a dog. He is a dog. I love him so much.
Dude, I loved Bill Huber just saying like, "Wow, King," like basically just trashing Kingsley and saying like he did literally nothing in training camp, but he showed up in the preseason. That was funny. So hey,
Yes.
maybe he needs the game mood, the game mode to get enhanced into his full form.
Yeah, and I still don't know how to say his last name because Packers.com says Kingsley Anagbari, and on his welcome video that he put on Twitter, it said Kingsley Anagbar. I'm
Who
going with
knows?
Anagbar. So
Yeah, I think with Dobbs, everybody's just accepted it's Dobbs.
yeah,
Like we don't know if that's right, but until he corrects us, hey man,
yes,
he's gotta speak up and correct us if we're wrong.
yeah.
Um, Other than that, I don't think there's too much to talk about. I guess one other player I wanted to bring up, and then one more piece of news, and then we'll probably wrap it up. Did want to talk about Zach Tom. I know this because I read Big B's day 2 of joint practice Instagram recap that Zach Tom was starting with the ones at right tackle and then Newman at right guard. So Jake Hansen dropping down a little bit and Zach Tom making a step up in the depth chart. And obviously, this is affected by Elton Jenkins returning to the lineup, as well as Christian Watson and Robert Tunyon. And they're still slowly easing in back into the practice lineup, but they're off the PUP, and it looks like they're going to be ready to go, if not week 1, pretty early on in the season, which is just glorious to see those 3 guys return. And I mean, I don't know if we're going to get an injury report. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah, we'll have to see. Well, we won't get an injury report, but the inactives we'll get for sure. So we'll have to see if Watson ends up playing in this preseason game. Obviously, Jenkins, Tunyon won't be playing either way. But we'd love to see Watson out there just doing a few stuff. I have my doubts, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Any other players matchups you wanted to bring up, Big B, before we wrap this up?
Not really. Like to see Chris Slayton and Jack Heflin do their thing again this week. Maybe Keandre Thomas make a few more plays. He made a few plays last week and also got mossed, but we in the end zone. But we're not talking about that. All right,
Yeah.
got positives here. Like to see him build on last week, and yeah, I think that's all I got. So,
all right, it's gonna be an exciting one. Cannot wait. We're getting to the regular season, folks. Only 23 days away. We're so close. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. We'll probably have a recap video of this game or an episode coming sometime this weekend. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll talk to you later. Go Pack, go.